Hello, everybody. Welcome, fantastic viewers, first timers, or returning chatters, and all the folks who love to support us here at Girls Run These Worlds. My name is Angela Lemos Morgrovejo. I use she, they pronouns, and I am here to welcome everybody to our new series. I thought it was going to be possibly never that I'd get to run this kind of game for folks, but I am super excited to run a print weaver system for the fantastic little table we have assembled here. And oh my god, I just saw the overlay again. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous. And if I can't say so myself, everybody looks great. So I'm just gonna quickly go around to everybody, and all I'm gonna ask is you say name, pronouns, and don't introduce your character or basically anything about their background. Just say just name, pronouns. That's all. So, as I said before, my name is Angela Lemos Mogrejo. I use she, they pronouns, and I'm going to pass it on over to Mark.
Hey, what's good, beautiful people? It's your boy, it's your 40, almost 41-year-old boy, Mark J. My pronouns are any and all these days. And yeah, happy to be here.
Fantastic. And we pass it over to the most mischievous member of our group. As far as I know, we're going to pass it over to Casper.
Aw, I got a title. Osio, I'm Casper, the MB ghost. And my pronouns are they, he.
Fantastic. And last but not least, the most mysterious and the most theatrical among us by sheer volume of performances and directing credits, Ran.
Hi, my name is Ran. I use she, her pronouns. Happy to be here.
And fantastic. I am very blessed to have this. Only three people this time around, and yet it oddly works for this setting and everything. So, before we get into everything, I just want to quickly preface that if you are a newcomer to any of the kinds of stories that I tell, or if you are a returning person and are wondering, oh, good, what sort of horror is Angela going to use on players this time around? I want to preface everything by saying that this system and this kind of story is potentially going to be a little bit more morbid and potentially more violent, or at the very least dealing with the repercussions of death, morbid loss, and just the pain of what it means to be in a world that is in a way already gone through an apocalypse and still going through its own form of an apocalypse. For many of us who live marginalized lives, that might feel a little too close to home. So, if at any given point with the material we might cover, which again will be things like death, loss, memories, the return of loved ones, the loss of settlements, a lot of environmental, basically apocalypses, plural, and things of that sort. If at any point it gets to be too much for you, please feel free to take care of yourselves and bow out of the stream. We understand your well being and mental health are more important than any sort of streaming show experience. And this is something that is going to be reflected also for my players. If at any given point my players feel a sense of like, not so sure about this, the simple little system in place. If you at any point type in the chat or even just hold up directly like an X, that's going to mean, okay, we're going to stop things here, pause the scene entirely, and we're just going to maybe take a moment to just potentially redo this scene, revise it as need be to make it more comfortable for folks. If folks put in an N in chat, our own private chat to specify particular, that's going to mean, hey, the scene's good, but can we possibly move on from it soon? It might be getting a little close to some dangerous territory. And O means, please keep going. We are ready to go. Or if it's just like double thumbs up, whatever manner of expressing yourself feels best. But this is a series that might be a little bit more morbid and might be a little bit more intense because of how present death is. So I want to be real careful with everybody. That being said, I want to shout out that this system is the Printweaver system as written by N.L. Morrison, who I believe has talked at length in a few other places like Sword and Key and elsewhere about the different influences and such that come into this. This is a bit more of an OSR, old school revival, Dark Souls inspired system, which I hope to showcase with great respect and all of my potential skill that I have here as best I can. So, without further ado, let us get into Belinay, the Deathless Lake, Episode 1, When the Ice Broke. The camera peels back, and for a moment, you as a viewer are watching as you have almost an aerial view of the world. Some places there are small little scattered settlements, small little safe havens. At one spot you see look to be a mass of small towers that have been erected with bridges connecting them. At other areas it looks as though there's almost like a circle of magical stones stained black with ink that seem to be providing a visible protection to hold back who knows what. And in other places, you see what appears to be the remains of a church in which individuals of a rather unscrupulous nature are gathering together to sell what I'm certain are very legal goods. But we fly on past all those moments. We fly towards the depths of a forest, the trees just covered in snow. Just a pause and a few beats happen. You as just the snow becomes too heavy on the branches of one of the trees and it falls down, and you watch as the camera zooms in into a small bunny just hopping along, just going, making little bunny faces, just seemingly looking around. Then it seems to be almost startled, just a little on edge, just there is almost a sense in which something is nearby. Something is there. And the camera peels back. You see a wolf, snow covering its fur. It looks cold. Looks as though it's about to pounce. Rears back on its legs. It jumps. The bunny, already having been made aware of its presence, just scampers away. And there's a little kind of sound as though wolf seemingly has missed out for the day. And then all of a sudden, without even being aware of what happens, out of the corner of its eye, it turns and it sees a mass of writhing, almost living bits of icicle and like forms of tentacles just stretching out, about to pierce it. The and the entire scene just fades to black. We cut over to a settlement, an island of sorts in the middle of a lake, place known as Belinay. Normally, during the other seasons, there is movement away from this place. The lake's waters are deep, and many people who have tried to traverse their depths never really seem to get to the bottom. But here in the midst of winter, the ice is frozen over entirely across all of the lakes. Just expanse. Just purest white, faintest bits of blue. You move past various homes where you see there are folks bundled up in a lot of different aspects of what appears to be something close to like goat wool and such, different kinds of clothing that's been woven together. Small kids seemingly just trying to run around doing what kids do best, which is be chaotic, be reckless, be silly. And we pull back to a small home. So When one walks into the interior, it feels much more like a library of sorts, with how many books are all against the shelves and lining the walls. And there is a small table set aside with a fairly short individual there. At most, maybe 5'1", 5'2", just there, pulled back, a very practical kind of ponytail, very deep kind of auburn hair, skin lightly faint, faintly brown, though mildly pale as though they have not seen outside for many days. And you see them sort of bustling around as she turns to address the three guests who she is currently entertaining. And she turns firstly to you, Mark, and you hear this individual who you would know. It goes by the name of Anastasia, or Sia, if you want to call her for short. Better Sia, not the ableist Sia. For those of you who know that joke, enjoy yourselves. Anyways, uh, please describe, Mark, your character, their name, and their pronouns.
Sure. Excuse me. My character is Tajane. They are standing about 6 feet tall. They are a non-binary person with gray locks that grow past their shoulders. They are tall and muscular, very built. Brown skin with the kind of skin that looks like I'm not really sure how old you are. You could be old, you could be young, um, but worn either way. Someone who's seen a lot of years, a lot of tough years. Their eyes are very sunken, but there's a vague smile on their mouth. Um, they stand in animal furs with a big one. One is a big, almost looks like a lion over the right shoulder, but it's a little more bestial. It's a little more um, mutated, let's say. Yeah, and I think that's who they are. What they know. Their pronouns are any and all pronouns.
Right? And you see Sia just sort of turns to you. Are you more of a coffee person or a tea person? I always forget. I tend to get a lot of guests around here, but I can never remember everyone's preferences. Coffee, tea?
I'll take the tea, thank you.
Okay, okay. Are you more of a like a pep in my step kind of person, or are you more of a I want to just relax and be easygoing?
Something soothing would be nice right now.
I figured you might be the type. You see her just going to futz around in the kitchen just a little bit, and she sort of calls out to another one of your party members. And what about the two of you? What about you? I can I can see you over there in the shadows. And Casper, if you wouldn't mind describing your character, name, and pronouns as well.
Um, so when she says, "I can see you over there in the shadows," the red eyes of Tahili uh look up at her, and they are flat. She they doesn't really matter. It's a shadow. They don't have pronouns. Um, so they'll answer to any. Um, uh, um, I was on a roll. They kind of sneer, but in a like it's so imperceptible. All they do is stare back at the woman. Um, and just like coffee, black, and floats closer to the table, like just a little bit more out of the shadows, only because they got called out. They are head to toe in a dark cloak, the most roguish kind of rogue. Black leather armor, um, very serious, like face. Like they have some piercings and uh other jewelry, but they're made of bone. Um, as they like kind of semi float walk. They're extremely graceful, but also trying to be the most roguish emo kitty rogue to ever rogue.
I'm suddenly back in high school for some reason. I don't know why.
For the record, they are not a rogue.
It's like this is the way that I move through the world.
This is
Like
the way. Oh, they also the only bit of like I guess the biggest bit of jewelry on them is a large chain that hangs around their neck that is broken at like halfway down their chest. And yeah, that's the biggest thing they've got on them. But yeah, they are try hard. It's fine.
I've never thought the phrase "try hard rogue" would be so apt, and yet here we are. They don't even like necessarily turn around. They're just sort of they're just after you give the response, they're just sort of like, uh-huh. Well, if you don't want to have any happiness in your life, I'll keep all of the sugar and all of the milks and everything out of it.
They've pulled this trick before. When they say coffee black, they mean cafe au lait.
You just see her just kind of sigh because you think for a moment. I think it's one of those like understandings you have with each other where it's just like it's like do you actually like you see her give a look of like do you actually mean that or do you want the usual that you want and it's sort of like all right and you're just like opening up just this like small cabinet just cupboards pardon above what is a tiny little like stove top. There's a small sink and such. This looks like a home where the only two spaces that seem as though any care and attention have been put towards them are the main library section with some chairs to sit in and reading light with candles and such put in, or like a little lantern, or the kitchen. There must be a bedroom or somewhere in this place, but Lord knows if you've ever seen it. Alrighty. And you, dear, is there anything that I can get you? Any preferences? And Ran, if you wouldn't mind describing your character.
Yeah, she will just very softly smile at her and say, tea would be lovely. Um, well, of course, if you have something to fortify it with, I wouldn't say no either.
What does your character look like? What are their pronouns?
So my character's name is Fear Hexa. She used she, her pronouns. You see sort of this woman of average height, about 5'7", 5'8". Her layers of scarves and like high dresses actually makes her seem taller, and all of the mantles that she's wearing makes her seems larger than she is as well at the moment. There is just this she's definitely the most colorful uh, individual out of the three guests, I would imagine. She's wearing these warm, deep orange, dark paint, dusty rose, gold sort of outfit all over. And when she crossed the room, it also kind of looks like a float, but when Casper's float is this wispy, roguish, ghostly um, vibe, hers is more like the falling leaves in the autumn. The general feeling you would get from her is I think everyone who has met her would say she had a beautiful face, but when they turn around, they could have swore that somehow they could not remember what she looked like. There was just that feeling of warmth, and it's like a lick of dark, a lick of night in the morning, or maybe it's the other way around. But perhaps one of the most memorable thing about her was the fact that she's carrying a staff that makes that's made of crooked trees with a lantern
Yes,
on top
yes.
that's
I'm
constantly
so
lit.
here for this.
It
I'm
is,
so
as
here
she
for
always
this.
say, there is a light amongst every single living soul, and I'm there to light it.
I'm so here for this. I'm so happy already. Well, you see Sia just sort of she looks very she looks at the lantern and just sort of smiles, seemingly just filled with that same sort of warmth you've described, and you see them bring over these very nice little like teacups and saucers for each of you. Your black coffee, nice calming tea, and something for a little bit of pep in your step. Just a
Thank
little
you.
bit. Of course, of course. So, how are you all doing? How is everything treating you today?
The warmth of your home provided much needed respite in the depth of winter.
Well, I do my best. It's not often, especially during winter, that I like to have people coming here, mainly because, well, if they are being here, I'm having to revive them. And trust me, most people don't. The first meeting with really anybody being them mostly nude, being pulled out of ink is not it doesn't usually set a good it doesn't set good expectations of how the rest of our potential relationship or interactions will go. So it's nice to meet people who are just stopping by just to get acquainted again. But yourselves sort of gestures over to Johnny and also to Tahirli.
That's their response to your question.
I'm doing well. The hunts aren't as fruitful as normally, but what can be said during winter? Um, honestly, uh, Tilly, Tahirli, is that your only response?
eyeing Taj. Just like it is winter. Summer will come.
Wow.
It's really hot and they want to be intimidating, but they don't want to burn their tongue. So
Sia looks at all, looks just kind of with puzzlement at Dearly and is just sort of like, uh-huh. Or you do know that in terms of seasons, summer's a little bit past winter, right? You do know that spring comes after winter, not summer, right?
For the sake of
yeah.
my silent friend,
um,
for the
no,
sake of my over edgy and maybe silent friend, it's all one big cycle. There's no beginning or end to the seasons.
You
That's
should try.
true. When you suffer, perhaps that's when you feel the hope the most.
Just that last statement takes like you see like an audible like .ex error has appeared on their face, the equivalent of that, and it's sort of like, I suppose that's one way of looking at it. But in any case, it's good to have some more travelers coming by here. It's been a while since we've had anybody stop by, and well, it'd probably do good for a lot of the settlement to see some more folks, some new folks come in for a little bit. I'm sure people will want to say hello, ask you how your travels been, the usual sort of thing.
what? Oh, this is Casper asking. What is the oldest building in uh where are we?
Belinay?
Belinay.
Belinay.
I was gonna
Yes.
call it Belaney. Belinay. Sorry.
Blaney has a first name.
Oh no.
There you go. Deal with that for the rest of the series. I already
uh
have to. But I would say that there is I would say that there is a small building that used to be used for services. I
Mm.
say services loosely because no one really has a particular like faith per se outside of
Oh,
a
okay.
more general belief in the concept of providence. Of more colloquially, Lady Luck is kind of the name some folks use for them, but
Okay.
other people see it as like the actual will of the ink itself. But that's among the more common beliefs. No one has a sort of unified one. There's just sort of the thematic of the ink controls our lives to an extent, so why not give faith to it? But there is a building that was repurposed a while ago. It's been around at least a few decades, which in this world is quite a long time for anything to last.
Mhm. It's being used currently, or is it?
Folks have used it a little bit less in the past, let's say around 4 or 5 years. It hasn't really had as many people going. It's had maybe like a few congregated, but it's gone from like a full Sunday mass service of like 100 people to only like 15, 20 people. It's like that's how much it's dropped over the years.
Okay. Um, what's this building called again?
It's literally just called the house the house of spotted faith. Sort of,
Um,
it's patterned after the way the ink spots sort of stain clothing, hence the name, the House of Spotted Faith.
so the Healy, um, will flip the conversation completely 180, and just be, are there tenants to the House of Spotted Faith during this cold season?
Well, currently no one has officially made any claim for housing and such as of yet to it. There are many who are still faithful going on, well, every week, but no one is currently using the space for any sort of living space per se.
Hmm. Has it become a relic of sentiment?
Rather, well, I wouldn't say relic. It's only been a few years that people have stopped going as much. So I'm not quite certain if that counts as relic just yet.
I hate making characters smarter than me in real life. Okay. No, you are correct. An object surviving from an earlier time is what makes it a thing, a relic. So, yeah. The Healy's gonna fall silent, and um, my comrades will recognize the look on my face as I'm just holding my black
Tongue.
coffee, and working things out.
Like noticeable little puff of like foam at the top of it too that's been created. It's like, this is my black coffee. It's like, why is there foam on? You don't need to know. That's for me to know.
I like it on my nose. Don't ask questions, okay?
Damn it.
I think Felix, I don't know how long they have known each other, if she like understands like the gears turning inside of Tahili's head, but she will kind of almost like absentmindedly comment and say, perhaps not yet. A relic is an object that survived since an earlier time, but have perhaps been forgotten by most. The House of the Spotted Faith has certainly not been forgotten. It is simply waiting for for the return, which is, see, I I hope you will forgive me, but I I am still new to claiming this title of a traveler. I see I am someone who stays. My calling has always been at the lighthouse. I wait, I hold out for the people, I make sure that they can find their way home. Would it be all right if I no longer do that?
We, she, there's sort of a look of, again, that gentle warmth, but this one is, as opposed to the kind of more lighthearted tone that they've had when talking to Tahirli, with you, there's such a, it's like a shift to focus and going, being a traveler means that you are, in many ways, your responsibilities go far beyond just the one place you've been before. And as a result, people will need to adjust. This has always been the case with travelers. We understand, though some people a little bit less more than others, that it is because of all of you that some of the worst dangers that we face in this world can be overcome. If it were not for individuals such as yourself, then I imagine this settlement would not have lasted and been as protected as it has been for so long. I don't think any of the settlements would have lasted. So don't worry. I will speak to them if necessary, but I understand your concern. It is a lot to be moving away from a place that has been very important. I myself did not, I was not always the person here managing those who would come back from the ink. And my predecessor was a very different personality, much more gregarious, much more used to a lively kind of atmosphere when having guests over, but I prefer to have my comfortable home. I prefer my books. I prefer checking in with people. I prefer providing them with small little comforts, especially once they come back from, well, their ordeals.
It's nice. You're like the cup of hot tea, or cold, whatever you like, when someone wake up from a dream a little bit too quickly. That's how I see it.
Well, it's very sweet of you to do so and to say that. By the way, is that like she turns to look at Taj? Is that a new pelt that you've acquired? Looks at the noticeably monstrous sort of armor that you described. You are muted, dear. You are muted of
Muted,
you.
am I? Um, no, I've been with this particular one for quite a while, actually. It's got a very special place in my heart, to say the least.
Difficult fight or interesting prey?
Both.
Hmm.
I keep it with me to remind me that things are way more precious than you imagine. You don't even know until it's over, until they're gone.
Quite a sentiment coming from someone who, in a manner of speaking, can't really die. Well, I do not want to take up too much of your time. Please feel free to explore. I'm sure other people will be happy to see you around here, and I'm certain other folks would be more than happy to offer a nice meal. I'm certain Phyllis will be working on a very nice stew that I'm certain some people are going to be gathering around her home and bringing. You would know this is a very common thing in Belinay that Phyllis is kind of one of those people for if you've ever been to a restaurant where folks literally show up with giant pots to get soup on like a Sunday morning. I've been to restaurants to do this. She's one of those people in Belinay. It's the kind of thing where like this is the kind of thing someone works for like 8 hours
Hmm.
cooking, and that's a lot of the fare and cooking for Belinay. It's a lot of stews. It's a lot of things that take a long time, but they're meant to be warm, hearty, filling, and good for the winter.
Is it
So,
like all Sankocho vibes that they're doing?
what was that?
Sankocho?
Yeah, that is a oh my god. It's been a while since I've had someone else bring up sancocho. Yeah, sancocho. So basically like a stew with chicken, corn, like starches and such in it. Yeah, holy shit. That is not respect you for that one. But yeah, it's definitely a lot of those kinds of things, and you know that there's some households that for anyone who knows what a Mexican ponche is, where it's just like kind of like long time stewed like fruit punch, but it's got like cinnamon, like nutmeg, a bunch of apples, pears, and it's not like cinnamon the spice, it's like the big ass like cinnamon sticks that people have found. Like it's the kind of thing that people save up whenever traders come by and specifically buy them out just for the winter for a special occasion. It's one of those kinds of dishes. But Sia just sort of again rises from the table, and they're a fairly squat person walking around. You notice with a slight limp in different spots, and grabbing a cane and starting to lean on it a little bit more. By all means, I don't want to keep you for your whole day. It was just nice to have you stop on by, and if you'll forgive me for worrying, I do prefer it whenever travelers such as yourself stop by a place like this, just to be safe.
Is it odd if I say that I remember the aroma of the stew? I don't know why. I don't think I've been here before, but I do remember the scent.
Perhaps you're friends, and while she does seem to be looking at the two of them, you would catch the like subtext meaning like perhaps your friends, the ones who you've talked to before or you've received messages from. Perhaps one of them is reminding you in some way.
That's a lovely thought.
Yes, go. I don't want to keep you in my home. And also, I would like to get back to my reading if you don't mind. So I don't want to kick you out quickly, but also, shoo.
Um, how old is Sia?
Thea has the look of someone who's at most maybe like 35, 40, which is around the median of where folks live up to on average. Like folks
Okay.
don't tend to last that long beyond that point because of the nature of the world. But the way that Sia talks, you get the sense that she has knowledge of stuff that's way older than her.
Okay. Um, Tahili is going to put the empty mug down with like the foamy mustache residue like on their upper lip nose area. They don't wipe it off. They're going to kind of fade into the shadows. Um and like leave.
I'm out. Just does the fucking the east meme of the guy just disappearing instantly.
Yes.
Taj, fair accent.
Thank you for your hospitality. It's been real. See you later. See you around.
Yes, yes. I'm sure I was. Hopefully for a good reason and not something more unpleasant.
As long as you have tea ready, it wouldn't be unpleasant. I'll see you around.
Fairly well. You see, like immediately as you all like as you're going out of the door of their like very small like home, you just see them like struggling a little bit to pull a book off of the highest shelf, and then they're just sighing, and they go and they get a stool, and then they stand on the stool, and then they grab it. They have it's the sigh of someone who is very short, never wanting to admit that they are short. Because if anyone points it out, they'll punch them.
Oh Oh, Ed. I mean, Sia.
But as you leave the home, like it's at most kind of late morning. There's a lot of different people who are out and about. There's a lot of there's small. You hear the sound of just a few goats just passing nearby, meh. And then there's also like various little kids running around who look like they're all bundled up. One of them has the look of a kid whose mother probably put them in so much clothing that they can't really move and they can't. You see eyes, and that's about all of their face that you see. Like, and it's not like big jackets and stuff like we would be wearing. It's just like a bunch of like wool clothing or other like pelts and such, and they're just like, "Hey, where'd you guys go? Oh, oh."
So, is it windy?
It's a little bit windy. The kid is having one of these kinds of movements. Like the wind could probably knock him over at any given moment.
Okay. I'm going to brush past that kid. He's young, he's fine. And like my cloak is like bellowing in the wind, super dramatic. My chains rattle as I'm like just moving through town. Um Seemingly taking a shadow with me wherever I go. I will make a note, just based off of my closet cosplay of this character. I only have one sleeve. So my other arm is just covered in tattoos and is freezing. There are goose pimples on it, but I don't say anything because shadows don't feel cold. Uh no, that arm is freezing. Yeah.
But
My
yeah,
character is like 20, like my character is barely 20. Um,
Jesus.
we are
Uh,
young.
so I did roll for this. When you pass by the kid did fall over.
Oh gosh.
It's
I'm
just
gonna.
like
And it looks like the Hiri like pushed him, but I did not touch him.
no. You didn't at all. It's just the slight change in the wind with you passing by. It's just enough. The kid's just on the ground.
Gonna reach down and pick the kid up with one hand and bring him like face to face with me. Like, where are your friends, kid?
I I don't know. I'm kind of having a hard time keeping up with them, to be
Has
honest.
anyone has anyone lose a kid?
Are you literally holding up the kid?
Yeah.
Wait,
Is there?
put him down. Put him down first.
Okay.
Are you alright, kid?
Whoa. And wait, hold on. Whoa. Like the kid, like from the eyes that you can see, are just kind of like staring at all of your outfit. And very important question I have to ask: are any of you wearing gloves?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I am not, only because I have a bracer that is leather and metal, and my glove would not fit over it. So
fair.
fashion.
I'm asking because a noticeable trait of all travelers is that your print marks on your fingers slightly glow. So if you have gloves, they can't tell. But if you're, it's not a bad thing. It's not inherently a bad thing. It
I
could
have
go
red
either direction.
eyes. Like I'm glowing fingertips is not my biggest concern at the moment.
Yeah.
Fair, but sort of, the kids just sort of looking up and looking at the lantern. What do you do with that?
Well, to make sure you find your way home. Where do you live, kid?
Uh, I live a few houses that way. I was trying to look for my sister Sarah, but I can't find her.
Well, maybe we can help you find her. You're gonna be
Okay.
all right. Can I actually take off one glove? And I think he's gonna see the fingertips glowing, and then the ones where the fingerprints are missing, I imagine are glowing in an even weirder way. Like maybe something that's a little bit darker, or
It
not
it
sure?
look yeah, yeah. It's definitely like, whereas some of them might have a very particular hue, the ones on the obscured or missing prints are just a very sharp contrast to that. And you see the kids' eyes, you can see above all of the clothing just kind of go very wide, and they're like, "Are you a traveler?"
I try. I'm gonna like pull down the like very high like up clothing just so he could breathe a little bit better. Take a deep breath. What what's your name, kid?
I'm Alex.
It's very lovely to meet you, Alex.
It's short for Alexander.
That's the name of a king. Do you know that?
Was I a king in a previous life? Did I have a previous life? Did you know me in a previous life? You've died before, right?
It's possible. And this is Mark. What's your name again?
Call me Tosh. Tosh.
Tosh. Oh, Tosh. This is Tosh. That's the name of a warrior.
You're really big. Sort of looks over at Tosh.
And you're
Or,
covered in sweaters, so what?
oh yeah,
Aren't you hot in there? I mean, you must be sweating.
I am melting in this. Even if I was cold, I don't remember what it feels like anymore.
Let's peel off one of these layers, all right?
There's an audible like noise as you have to, the kid is just looks like, you can see more of the kid's like skin and everything. They look like they have like just a little bit of like scrapes on their face, and he's just probably been running around and like fallen a couple of times given the clothing he was wearing. And you see another small girl sort of run over. She has uh bright green eyes. She has very big curly hair. It's blonde, and she has faint sort of light black skin. But yeah, she looks as though she has like faintly blondish hair. She's like, "Alex, hurry up."
Is that your sister?
"Yeah, that's my sister. She left me behind." "I didn't leave you behind. You couldn't keep up." "Well, it doesn't change the fact you left me behind." And it's like, "You have to tell mom not to put you in so many clothes." And it's like, if you try telling mom no, okay, fair, but still.
Well, hold on to each other, okay? And you just see Fairhixa sort of like picks up one layer of her scarf, and like from her hair she pulls out like this glowing sort of tiny lantern and like give it to this kid to hold on to, and
That is
then
so cool. Holy
uh
shit.
so that the sister can like hold on to it and the brother can always see her.
Thanks. And you suddenly hear like the kind of like huffing and puffing of a very squat, like very stocky looking woman. Someone who looks as though probably has gone and done foraging or like worked with their hands a fair bit. And you see Sarah, Alec. Oh, there you two are. Oh, it's always so hard keeping track of you two. Thank you for finding them. I've they sometimes get a little bit away from me when I'm trying to keep track. Like, sort of looks and notices. Ferric says, Prince, oh, are you. Wait a minute. Are you the lighthouse keeper?
Yeah, you remember me. She
I,
looks very surprised somebody remembered her.
I, I used to work. I used to be very afraid of the dark when I was younger, and I was always worried that something like terrible was going to come and get me in the middle of the night. But whenever the lighthouse would be beckoning people out, I knew I could always look towards it and know that there was always going to be a light somewhere. So it made it a little bit easier to sleep at night, and it's it's made some things a little bit easier growing up with, well, sort of gestures everything. But so like grabs your hand like all of a sudden. So thank you. And you just hear Alex pipe up. They're one too. Like pointing at Taj, and you see her just turn. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for keeping us safe and doing all you can. Can I interest you in some freshly made bread?
That would be lovely. And I'm pleased that you enjoy the light. I think maybe it was my mother, or maybe it was someone else I remember from before, once told me that there is always going to be more dark than light, but the light makes it worthwhile. So just always look for it. And if I have anything to do with it, I'll keep one on for you.
"Hmm? Well, thank you so much. You both so sweet. Here, and see that like a small bit of ways, you see that there is a rather overfilled basket that looks as though it's been hand weaved and there it's been covered up to deal with the wind and the cold, but pulls out like a full fresh loaf of bread and hands one pulls out 2 loaves of bread and hands one to each of you. Sorry to hear that you already left, so you don't get bread.
Now, while everyone else is getting bread and making friends, whatever, I'm gonna check out the House of Spotted Faith, um, and like I'm just gonna look around. Uh, it's basically like I'm doing a home inspection on it, um, but not like an official. Hey, I'm a real estate agent. I need all this. No, I'm checking it out and like just touching the walls and getting a feel for the building.
I want you to know that you doing this immediately summoned the thought: is Casper being part of the bourgeoisie by checking out housing state right now? I'm just like, you traitor. But you would see that there is a small. It looks as though there's only about 2 or 3 families, but they're fairly decent sized families. It looks like a family of 4, it looks like a family of 7, and it looks like just a family of 3. So it's only about like 14 people attending, quote unquote, a congregation, and also one individual who seems to be sort of by sheer like force of personality standing out amidst all of them. Not tall at all, like maybe average height, fairly tanned, looks as though they have a fair bit of scars across their forehead and one very noticeable one across their cheek, but
Mm.
has a extremely inviting sort of smile and looks as though they have like very nicely knitted like mittens and such that they have, and seemingly like just going to each of the families and just checking in on them.
Okay, so upon seeing this, Tahiri is going to. I don't know what the medium would be, but they are going to make a mark on this building, um, to any other person of my order to see it. It would be a signal that this building is still being used, that's still
Still
being
in use.
remembered. Yeah, it is. It is not to be erased. It is not to be erased yet.
Okay. And you see that there are those who it's almost like the whoever is leading this congregation, the individual who with a very charming warm smile is just there standing, just sort of takes some time and like makes a sign with their hands that looks, it almost like a streak of like ink blot. It is effectively, I don't know how you would do it with your hands, but makes sort of like the way that an ink blot would stain a piece of paper is sort of the sign for like the congregation to be adjourned. And everyone sort of repeats the sign. And you see the families, they have members of, especially the big family has members of varying ages. It looks as though someone who's almost about 80 years old, you'd clock them at. Someone else, there's a couple of kids there who are only like 5 or 7. And then the parents and the other adults who are there, probably around their 30s. Some some of them look like they're maybe 50 max, but definitely the 80-year-old and the small kids definitely stand out. as sort of outliers in the group, given that folks don't tend to live that long?
Um, I think I'm gonna eye the person who's 80, but they also seem to be surrounded by love, and are remembered. So as like I'm leaving them, I'm kind of just looking around town. Are there any buildings that seem to have been forgotten that
You
have
know,
fallen into disrepair or something like that?
I'm gonna ask you to make the first roll of the game,
Let's
which is
go.
so this is going to be, I would say, just to make it easier on you, let's go with this is Dex. So whatever your
Bet.
Dex score is,
Yes.
we're gonna make this an OB2. Fairly easy, just taking a look around town. So general way that this works, look at whatever your Dex score is.
Mm-hmm.
That's your pool of D10s. Roll those for every 6 and above that you roll, that's a success. In order to pass, you need at least 2 successes.
Okay.
So
Wow.
roll them dice.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So my pool of sorry, that number's correct. And rolling. Got it. Okay.
Yes,
So, I got 3 sixes, a 10, and a 7.
that is all successes. Well done. So you're just kind of coasting and looking around the area, and you see that there has been exactly one spot that kind of feels like it's fallen into a bit of disrepair.
Mm.
It looks as though maybe it was an old shed for housing tools, or maybe it just looks as though it's been abandoned, and you see that there, kind of as you're passing by it, no one seems to be interacting with it except for 2 people who both look fairly young, like you wouldn't put them past 17.
Mm.
They're kind of bundled up,
Okay.
both of them just very carefully making their way over to this spot. This looks like an abandoned shed, basically.
I'm gonna make it to I wanna try and make it to the shed before them.
Okay. So this is going to be an opposed check.
Let's go.
So each of them who will have a set amount of decks, they are going to roll against your decks.
Okay.
So it'll be number of successes against number of successes.
All right. I have a 6 dex. Just let the world know. Um, so hopefully my 6 die don't fail me.
Okay.
No bad.
I hope they don't either, because they certainly rolled the numbers.
Oh, they did they? Okay, cool. Um, well, I got a 6 and 2 tens. So,
That would do it. Yeah. They only had one success. So
oh, okay.
you get there, and the two of them look like they're both like they're not aware of you, because again, you are so silent. You are so good at
Mhm.
what you are, the shadows.
I am the
You are the
shadows.
dark. And you roam, and you get there. It, are you letting your presence be known to them as they're walking over?
I want to be at the door and like what they see is a shadow with red eyes. Um and it like my order is not unknown. So and we all look pretty much the same. So a shadow with red eyes, they kind of know what it means. Um and like I kind of want that to be the vibe. They're like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, you see one very pale-skinned teenager and another very pale-skinned teenager, both women. Both one has like a deep shock of red hair that they look like they've tried to keep together in like a ponytail, but it's like falling out in a mess. And the other one has extremely short cropped hair. They both just sort of like are looking around to make sure no one is see them, and then they both notice you at the same time. It's like, holy Christ! Oh, Providence! Who are you exactly?
I am a hunter for the Unbound Order. This building is a relic of sentiment.
Okay.
I'm gonna mark the door in very big, like obnoxious writing. Um, for those who follow behind me, to know to note that this building should not be will no longer be here.
The one with the very short the one with the very short cropped hair. They're like, I'm sorry, what does that mean exactly?
It is part of the past. It needs to
Uh-huh.
be cleared to make
Okay,
way
but
for the future.
does it need to be cleared right now?
Yes.
Like this exact minute?
Yes.
Okay, so do you have like something you're gonna use to like knock down the shed, or what are you the one in charge of like renovation and such or destroying it?
I'm going to bellow my cape like Snape and like just disappear.
Jesus Christ.
um Also, like, how does ink stuff work? Like, how would I use like if there is a magical way to make this building crumble and disappear,
I
I
mean,
would
that
like
would
it to
take
do that.
actual magic or you
No,
hitting it and then infusing it with magic.
cool. I'm gonna hit it and infuse it with magic. I don't know how I'm
Okay,
gonna do
you
that,
have
but sure.
so the way that you do that is that will you spend will points in order to infuse an unarmed attack with it.
I've got wit. Wait, let me double check. Do I have will?
Yeah, before you start talking shit.
No. I mean, I've got vitality. I don't got much will. I got a whole one will.
Got
So
one will here, bud.
yeah, no. So I'm just marking it for someone who's got more will than I do. Um, yeah, I'm a hunter. Clearing it is not my department. I just go out into the world and scout things out for the
Uh-huh.
clearing. So you know that Zach guy in Fern Gully who's just marking trees with like the spray can? Yeah, that's me.
Why must you make it harder for the lesbians? What have we done to deserve this?
Wait.
We're just out here eating bread.
Yeah, you guys are out here. I'm actually working.
By breaking down a shed that a pair of lesbians were looking to just make out in. Well done.
They can make out in the cold. Like there's other places.
So this is going to be OB3. If you have
That
any will to spend, the way it'll work
I've
is that so it costs you will points. So however many points of will, we'll add that to your D10 pool in order to make an unarmed attack. Which bear in mind is you basically attacking it with your fist.
that's fine. I
This
can
is
hold punch with
OB3.
my frozen arm. Also, before I spin this will, because I
Yes.
have so many, um, do I get it back eventually, or is it gone for
When you
good?
take rests, which some of which take days to do.
Glorious. Um, yeah, you know what? I'm young, naive. Let's do this. We'll spend it.
Okay,
Do
you
I?
need 3 successes.
What is my dice pool?
Your dice pool, we're gonna go with Dex
Oh,
plus
glorious.
however many will you spent. You need 3 to do this.
Okay. So Dex being 6, my will being 1. Um, at least give me 3. And boom shakalaka. I got 2 10s, a 9, and an 8. That's 4.
That's so literally a pair of these individuals. So just literally a pair of teenagers just watch as some random shadow, angsty, edgy shadow just appears, just punch it just straight up like fist
Punches the
war
door.
star punches a shed, and you just watch as ink seemingly just flows through your entire arm as you punch it, and the entire shed just kind of crumbles.
It will be the ink from the tattoos that are on my like my just everybody can see arm. Naked, that's the word. Punches. So I'm gonna punch with my non-dominant hand because that's how cool I am. And the ink from the tattoos seeps off my arm, goes into the punch, and then transfers into the shed. And it collapses.
There's just a look of like the chat saying my vape was chat, you understand. Jesus. Just the shed just breaks down, and it's just a look of two teenage lesbians looking at you like one of the short-haired one just looks devastated, and the one with the long hair who's like 6 inches taller than her partner
Of course.
is just looking at you. Listen, tall and the small, it's the classic dynamic. Just looks at you with somewhere between murder and fury in her eyes.
Yeah, I look back over my shoulder like Vi out of Arcane and just like kind of huff at them and then just disappear into the shadows.
By the way, Taj and Firaxa, you hear the shed breaking down some distance away.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of chewing on this excellent bread.
The bread is really good.
Yeah, and I turn around and look at the shed, and then turn back around, look at what's
Yearly.
should we be surprised? Should we be concerned?
No, it's been 10 minutes where they've been on their own. Of course, they're causing mayhem. Maybe if
Alright.
they had some bread and, they weren't so hungry, they wouldn't do this stuff all the time.
That's true.
Offended. Accurate. But
Accurate.
offended.
Should we,
So
I don't know, clean up after them?
just kind of walk towards where Tahiri is and speak a little bit louder than usual. Tahiri, would you want some of my bread?
Yeah. They're gonna reach out for reach out, because you're offering it. They're just reaching. They stick their hand out, and you see that their arm, where there was tattoo and inks, there are now like divots, where the ink used to be, as it seeped out of their arm to do their duty. And so you're at your weight, like it's just these like divots up their arm and scars where like a tattoo used to be, as their fingers are freezing as you hand them bread.
It's, as a note, it's cranberry raisin bread for anyone who's interested in knowing.
So good.
It's made with almond flour. There's a lot of nuts.
There is a look of reluctance as Felix hands you the rest of her bread because she knows she is not getting this back.
Oh yeah, it's gone. I start like picking out the raisins. I'll keep the cranberries, but I pick out the raisins as I'm eating this thing. It's like,
I'm gonna tear my bread in half and hand half of it to Tahiri, and here you go. Let's all share.
And I'm picking out the raisins and keep eating.
Felix, don't tell me you didn't destroy it in the building.
It was a relic of sentiment. It was my duty.
I'm a hunter.
I must make room for the future.
I'm a hunter too. I understand the sentiment, but not the actions. I believe we should just let things decay and let the future arise from the ashes. Not just knock everything down, tear open buildings. Was it hurt?
No.
You notice the two lesbians just very angrily like walking away from the shed.
Oh, are those two? Are those still living in there when you destroyed it?
No.
So
You sure?
why do they look so angry? Why are they walking so angrily?
Sentiment.
What if? What if we could compromise? What if the next time you found another building that is a relic of sentiment that is to be demolished, we find a replacement and something to build on top of it before you knock it down?
That is not my mission. Picks out more raisins and continues to eat the cranberries.
But perhaps that could be our mission together.
As long as it does not interfere with mine, I have no objections.
By the way, as you're having this conversation, you do see that there is a small crowd of people. It's only like 10, maybe like 10 or 15, but they seemingly are gathering a little bit of distance away, and there's like a little bit of hubbub that's beginning to happen. And you definitely hear like the sound of like a almost like a baying or a howl coming from that direction.
Can I pull out my silver chalice?
Yes,
Cool. Is it
but
tarnishing?
it is not your silver
Okay.
chalice, which tarnishes whenever a monster is nearby. You do not sense anything unpleasant from it, but there does appear to be a few people growing a little bit alarmed as some short distance away it sounds like a howling creature of some kind is there.
Shall we go see if anyone or anything is in trouble?
I'm gonna grab my longbow and yeah, head that direction.
Probably those angry lesbians.
Justified, to be honest. If the whole group moves over, you see amidst the crowd as you make your way through it that there appears to be a very agitated wolf whose body is covered in snow and such. It looks as though it's trying to rub it off, but like someone looks as though as they try and get close, the wolf is just like on edge. Just
What's
like
going on?
uh, honestly, we don't know. Just some random person just pops up, perks up. This wolf stumbled into the settlement, just very agitated all of a sudden. We don't know why.
Step back, I'll handle this. I draw my longsword.
The wolf is just sort of like on edge the whole time. It's just like it looks like it's ready to pounce. It hasn't done anything to attack anyone yet. It just looks on edge right now.
Wait. Can we tell if there is sort of if it is under duress?
I would say the thing that it's very clear you can tell it is very stressed and uneasy. You don't
Mhm.
know why that is. And again, it hasn't attacked anybody yet, but it looks like if it could.
Could I try to put it to sleep?
Ooh, you have a spell to do so.
I do.
Okay.
And she's gonna take out her tome and flip to the right page and close her eyes and open again, and her eyes kind of glows a little bit like candlelight. Is just going to say, may the sand of sleep enter from your ear and connect, snip, blossom, and fade. And you
Oh,
feel drop, drip, drop, and slip.
alrighty. So I'm pulling up your particular spell right now. Believe I recall that was one of the ones I gave.
Slumber.
Slumber. Pulling it up right now. So slumber, you put a creature into a forced slumber for success hours, healing all status conditions. So
Mm-hmm.
with casting a spell, you need to spend at least one will point to just activate it.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to spend more will points, you can. And however many successes you get, that's how many it will try and do.
Okay.
I will say that because they have advantage to resist, your successes will be 7 to 10 instead of 6 to 10 because
Okay.
this creature does not want to go to sleep right now. So, however many will points you put in, plus 1, that will be your dice pool. Roll that, your successes will be 7 to 10. That's the way.
So my dice pool is only 1. Okay.
So plus 1. So however many will you spend, so decide right now however many
Right.
will points you want to spend. That plus 1 will equal your dice pool.
Okay. Great. I will spend 2.
Okay, so spending 2 plus the 1, so you have 3. You get successes on a 7 to 10 because it has advantage to resist because it is unwilling.
Mm.
They're trying to put it to sleep. Okay, could be a gamble, but it could work. Come on.
2, 7, and a 6.
2 sevens. That's 2 successes. So the creature, like, it hears your words and it enters into its mind, and the creature is like, oh, just immediately falls asleep.
Well done, Tahiri. Your magic is always so poetic.
Well, to hear these, Casper, you mean Fear
Oh,
Hex?
sorry. Hicks, yeah, sorry. My bad.
I was like,
Yearly looks at you like
it's like you don't know if it's sarcasm, motherfucker.
looks back at the rubble that was the shack and is like, yeah, that is poetry.
Whatever is bothering this wolf, it must be present still. I wonder what it might be.
And it's right about now that you also see somebody running back. They look at most like 24, 25. More like almost it's like deep, heavy red tint to their skin, but it's also deep brown. So a lot deep brown skin with deep reddish undertones to it. And they look like they have blood on their face and they're just like running away and like getting into town like as fast as they can. They look as though they've had a crossbow on their back and they've just been booking it for ages. Just exhausted, bloody face, just young 20s something, just walking, just running into town. They're waking up.
The wolves?
No, they're waking up.
What is?
Them, the creatures, they're waking up.
How do you know?
I saw them. I saw one pull itself out from beneath the ice. I they're they're they they're awake or they're waking up. They're like the kid is like panicky And it just started to like start saying this in the middle of the crowd. They're waking up early. They shouldn't be waking up at this time. They
Don't
should
panic.
still be. They shouldn't be awake. They shouldn't be
Can
awake.
I
This is not.
slap him gently?
You can.
Thank you, Tahiti. Slow down. Tell us what you saw.
Slow down, but also hurry up.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't know how to do. Okay, I'm just gonna just talk.
Hmm.
I I was just trying to go visit an old fishing hole that I knew to see if I could just bring back some stuff. And when I was out there, normally there's like just like a very specific set of cracks that we've made, right? You just got to have a little spot out there. We just get to be there for a few hours to see what we can figure out, usual kind of stuff. But something else came out of the hole. Just started to. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was some kind of wraith or what have you. All I know is that it looked like a person just pulling themselves out of the water, but their entire body was covered in like ice and like frost, and they lashed out at me. And like you finally actually start to see through some of the armor the kid is wearing that there's bits of a wound there that hasn't been repaired or dealt with. And I don't know. All I did. There's a I just started trying to run away as fast as I could, which was very fast considering you probably shouldn't run on ice. It's not a good idea, slipping and all this stuff, but I was trying to get away and it came after me and I thought it was going to be a goner, but then a wolf just showed up out of nowhere and just tried to fend it off. I don't know if the wolf's okay.
It's
Uh,
it's not. I think the wolf probably can sense something. I wonder if there is any way to communicate with the wolf, or you said there is just the one you saw.
as far as I could tell, it's last I saw it was just a bit of ways out of town. It's past the edge of the protection.
Are there anybody around near the edge of the water?
I mean, there's the usual folks, the hunting parties who go out. Probably some of them will come back by within the hour. I I don't know. I've usually only had to deal with beasts. I haven't really had to deal with the creature, and I've only had the one time. I like the kid is just losing it, like getting extreme, like working himself up into panic again.
Just gonna rub the back a little bit, in an anchoring kind of motion. Um, I need you to do something for us. Focus on one thing after another. All right? Listen. You need to get everyone to go away from the water, from the ice, and get to safety. Can you do that for us?
Yeah, yeah. I'll do what I can. Are we gonna be okay?
Yes, we are.
We'll take care of the monster. Right?
We always do, right? We've got someone with a fist who can knock down the entire building here. Of course we can.
And if we don't come back, just follow the trail of raisins that my friend left behind.
Take some more raisins out, finishes eating the loaf.
Like the most disagreeable bunch.
Hands
Okay.
still stinging from slapping that guy. I'm not wearing gloves.
That really hurt, by the way.
Snapped you out of it.
Yeah, I guess. Okay. And just starts to go away, and you see like someone else in the crowd is just like takes over from where Firaxa has been. And right now, you, in the midst of Belinay, you have reports of the creatures who you've all lived with for many years, you've dealt with for many years, who've tended to arise from out of the ice at the end of winter. But from if this report is to be believed, you've still got a few weeks until the quote unquote official end of winter, and there has been a sighting.
Yeah. I'm down to go kill a monster.
Spirit who follows me, will you show me the answer? What caused the monster to waken early this year? I'm gonna take out my ring of answer and see what vague answer I can get.
Okay. With your ring of answer, I'm going to just take a look at that real quick. Vague answer, ring of answer, looking it up. Ring of strong, animal, martyrdom, arcane pastille, long sight, secret, and answer. Once per day, you may ask any question, have it vaguely answered.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say this will be the last sort of image and thing that the group will get notice of
Mm-hmm.
before we go to our break officially. Firaxa, you feel your eyes suddenly gloss over with ink, and you feel the sensation of almost like falling backwards into water. As you look around to see where you're at, it is an ocean of ink. And you find yourself like swimming and treading for a bit. And you hear a voice calling out to you. And all you hear from the voice overall is the phrase, "Somebody has forgotten us. Now you will remember." Somebody has forgotten us, and now you will remember. And there is a distinct moment where right before you're pulled out of it, you look ahead and it looks like a lantern is hanging on the edge of something, almost like the end of an antennae. And you look and you see right before it's almost too late that the antennae is actually, and the lantern you see is in front of a mouth like an anglerfish that is just about to reach out and devour you, and you get punted out of it, that vision.
Somebody has forgotten us. And now you will remember. Whatever that means.
And with that horrifying image, that is where we are officially going to take our break, everybody. We will be back in about 10 minutes. So pet your pets, take your meds, go use the bathroom and all that stuff. Get some water if you haven't. Make sure that you carry a very helpful guiding lantern to light the path back in case you get lost. And we will see you all in about 10 minutes. So see you real soon, everybody. Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to the second half of Belinay the Deathless Lake, episode 1, When the Ice Broke. So, for those of you who are just joining us or who maybe came into the stream a little bit late, my name is Angela Lemos Mogrovejo. I use she, they pronouns, and you're here for what is the series premiere of our Print Weaver series happening here on Girls Run These Worlds. This is Belinay the Deathless Lake. A world of kind of post-apocalyptic, currently ongoing apocalyptic, wintry eldritch horror, and just a lot of folks who can't die, dealing with the repercussions of the fact that one, you can't die, and two, you are living above the focal point of a lot of eldritch creatures. It's the best. So, getting to that exact point, I'm going to let my players just reintroduce themselves real quick. Just your name and pronouns, and then your character's name and pronouns. Just real quick, I'm going to go around the table to make sure everyone's all like acquainted and all such, and then I'll bring us right back into the scene. So, starting as we did before, I'm going to pass it over to Mark.
Hey, it's your 41-year-old boy, Mark J. My character is, I forgot the name already, sorry.
Taj.
Tajane. Their pronouns are any and all. You probably would imagine Ambessa and Rhea Ripley, like body ripped, strong, femme type person. Yep, that's them.
Fantastic. And the avatar of mischief and of breaking up a lesbian couple by sheer nature of destroying their makeout spot, Casper.
Whatever. I'll take it. Osio, I am Casper, the MV Ghost. My pronouns are they, he, but my avatar of emo is the Hirli, who's any. Shadows don't have pronouns, so they'll take any. And they are, shoot, they are a kid on a mission and very serious about that mission.
And that mission is Edge. And carrying on as stark contrast to the mission of Edge is our last player, Ran. Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Ryan, she, her pronouns. My character is Fear Hexa. Also she, her pronoun. She wears a lot of colorful, warm colored, drapey clothing, long, inky, dark green hair, um, has a kind of beauty that makes one think of grief and things that you remember fondly, as well as a lick of night in the morning. Usually carries a staff with a lantern on it, as well as some light in various places on her in her hair and clothes. What else? Average height 57, 5'7", 5'8" ish, early 30s looking. Yeah, magic.
Alrighty.
Just put a wolf to sleep.
Oh, that's true.
Yes.
I punched out a shack, which what Angela referenced apparently was a lesbian makeout shack. How was I supposed to know? Anyway,
It's got a big
I
pride flag on the side of it. Like, what?
You just
I missed
you
that
just
description. Damn
You
it.
just watch Kearley just move around the side, and you just see like there's a big trans flag, and there's like a non-binary flag, and there's a tiny little rainbow flag hanging off the side. Listen. I I wasn't aware that this was that. Like you didn't see the things on the side. It's like, no.
If you want your place to not be punched out, maybe keep it nice. Like, I don't know, make it look like people actually go there and hang out. That's all. I have a job to do.
I have a job. I'm on a mission.
I'm on a
But
mission.
so getting back into the swing of things, Ferrex has just referenced putting a very agitated wolf that has sort of made its way into town to sleep, and very much like sheer magic done this, by the way. Just pulled out a tome and was like, I'm gonna use a spell, dog goes to sleep. And immediately following this, a young, who appears to be just fisherman, went out with a crossbow, having come back to the center of town and started panicking about the fact that he has seen the creatures, the horrifying beings who emerge from breaking through the ice that exists on top of the lake that surrounds Belinay, having emerged early, like weeks, potentially even like at the rate of like months earlier than they should have. And in a world where people tend to move on a fairly tight seasonal migration pattern between settlements, this is a massive deal. This is a moment where the threat of creatures appearing this early and also the ice breaking apart this early puts a lot of plans in jeopardy. But as we left off previously with Eric's experiencing a terrifying vision of something beneath the lake claiming to have been forgotten and the world now going to remember, the group has been made aware that outside the boundaries of protection that exist in Belinay, there is a threat to the safety of the settlement. So, travelers, what is your next move?
We're off to see the wizard. And the wizard in this case being the gross demon monster coming out of the lake.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. So you've begun. So you are now currently at the edges and the boundary of the settlement's protection. Just making a note here. The moment you leave this place, you are no longer protected from the view of the creatures or any other monsters that have been touched by the ink. Are you ready to do this?
Taj steps forward
I
confidently.
really wish I could have taken a bath.
All right. Taj moves forward. Tahirli.
And not to be outdone, Tahirli also steps forward, just wishing in the back of their mind that they could have taken a nap. But yeah, whatever.
You chose. But
Yes, I know. I made choices.
we're
here for a good time, not a long time.
We're in the business of making choices. Are they good choices? Not something we ask here. Not our department. But so that's for other people to worry about. But Erixa, you ready?
Fingertips kind of dance around the edge of the lantern's light to get some warmth and guidance. Yeah. Readiness is all.
You begin to make the move past the boundaries of the settlement, and it's like a palpable chill that wasn't present before fills your bodies. While within the boundaries of the settlement, you felt this kind of warmth and protection, like a little like note of flame just right in the center of your heart, keeping you safe. And now that you've passed the boundaries, you see it's almost like the edge of what would be a beach, the rockiness of a beach, except the water has frozen over and gone up to this point as well. And you know, with having traversed this before, it's steady enough, but some care will probably need to be exercised on the ice for fear of slipping and or worse, breaking open something. So, I'm going to ask for a dex check from everybody.
Oh no.
Unless
if we have
you
no decks, we roll.
you roll a
one.
d10,
1d10.
1d10, and if you get a 10, you can roll it again. So
Here we go.
Is that a standard rule? Because I've been getting 10s all over the place. These digital dice really like me.
I have
it's
some.
specifically to chance die, because they don't get to
Okay.
roll
Never
any
mind.
dice except for the one, and in order to keep doing it, they basically have to quote unquote crit to keep it going.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Now,
So how many do I roll?
so So you roll your dex total, which I don't. How much is your dex?
2. Oh,
Your
so
dex is 2, so you roll 2d10. Yes, you will always roll your attribute score number of dice. The OB you're looking for here is 2, so you need 2 successes to do this correctly. Just this is not a hard thing because you are well practiced at doing this. You've traversed a lot of different areas before. How many successes? So that's 4 successes. And Tahirli,
Not to brag or anything.
you have 2 successes. Okay. Taj, how many successes?
Just the one. I rolled a 10 and a 3.
10 and a 3. Okay. So you only had the one. So unfortunately, so you're all making your way through, but there is just a bit where as you're beginning to step, maybe it's the heaviness of whatever equipment you have or just your stride, you're walking and you just hear and your foot starts to sink a little bit. It hasn't broken through, but you can feel like any other unsteady pressure. You're at a big risk. Yeah. If you want to try and help, this will probably be, I would let you use either strength or dex to help with this.
Oh,
Guys,
can I help and like push
This
him?
that I will here's what I will say. If you're willing to use your turn, it will give Taj advantage on doing this. So same deal again, Taj. OB2, same amount of dice as before, but now you have advantage, which means 5 to 10 instead of 6 to 10 will be a success.
and I can roll this with my strength this time, you said?
Yes, if you want to try and use this with strength, if you're just like trying to push this instead of trying to be delicate, you're like intentional focus because it's a lot about like controlling the weight of your body. We'll roll that. Let's see.
That is 3 successes.
Nice.
That is enough.
Excuse me.
So, with the help of Tahirli and Eric's doing the correct thing, which is I'm not going to get in the way of any of this. I know my skill set. It's not this. You are able to make it through the Spita area and you begin traveling, and it is so cold right now. The wind has picked up, and whatever temperature it was feeling before, the wind chill that's happening is making it feel so much worse right now. You are all bundled up. You are all covered, except for Tahirli. This is going to be strength OB2.
Oh no,
Great.
that's not
Um,
possible for me.
I think
This is
it's
just
me.
Tahirli because the two of you are covered sensibly. Tahirli had to be the one being like, I'm gonna keep this harem, I'm covered. I'm like, okay, you're gonna risk hypothermia.
Yep, let's go. I'm here to look good and to destroy things. What was my thing?
OB2?
Cool.
Strength.
Awesome. I have a 3 in strength because yeah. Anyway, I got 8 and a 7 and a 3. I'm assuming that 3 doesn't do
That's-
anything for me.
That 3
but-
doesn't do it, but the other 2 is just enough. Like you have a very distinct like you immediately like are you are at the point you have to cover like your arm entirely and keep it close to you. You have the sense if you don't cover up soon, you are going to be risking this as a consistent thing you will have to do like throughout the whole of your journey.
I throw a bundle at Tahirli.
Like put on a fucking jacket.
What kind of bundle are you throwing at me?
You have to like unfurl it to see what it is.
Great. Cool. So I'm gonna grab it, I guess, and with my only covered hand, like only my covered arm, because I'm not flapping this noodle out in the cold. I'm like looking at it. What does it look like?
It's like a wool boot that's like your arm size. And it's got like a little fuzzy like little animal face at the end of it. Sorry, I keep these for pajamas, but I think this would work right now for you.
What kind of animal? Is it a raccoon? Is it a squirrel? Is it a possum? What are we looking at here?
It's like a little beaver face.
I can work with the beaver. Yeah, I'll stick my arm in the beaver. I heard
Phrasing.
it after I said it.
As the statement you just said.
I am here for the
I
lesbians,
was hoping
apparently.
for it.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad you have one because I was like, Felix says very colorful scarves. Tahili is not gonna want it.
No, I would actually hand that back. I will risk hypothermia.
Like, I love your aesthetic, but everything about it offends me. Meanwhile, currently putting hand in a fuzzy animal face boot.
Yep, in a fuzzy beaver boot. If you're gonna say
Fuzzy
it, we're
beaver boot.
yep.
Yeah, fuzzy
It's a
beaver
beaver.
boot. It's a
Thanks,
beaver.
Mark.
Just take care of it and give it back to me when you're done. It's gonna mess up the set, mess up the pair if I'm missing one.
I can take the other one. I have 2 arms.
Are both your arms risk of frostbite?
Literally, you are seeing me in my like thermal shirt. One sleeve. That's all I've got. My cloak thing is sleeveless. Bubba.
What?
I am wearing leather armor. That's as thick as I go. Like
We had,
Tahili, how do you live here?
yeah.
I don't live here. I am from Helena.
You
That's
are in
fair.
the summertime one where you
Yeah.
don't have to put up with this crap.
Have the other one? I mean, I have the
Thank-
whole pajama set if you really want it. I don't
No,
know.
I will just take the beaver
Okay.
shoes. Sticks the other one on my arm.
You look really
No.
cute.
Keeps moving.
Fearsome. Fearsome is the right word.
Right.
Let's go with that.
Fierce. Yes.
So
Patronizing.
you carry forward, beaver boot and all, and you find some distance. It's not very long. You have to move forward when you notice that there appears to be a caravan some distance away from you, but it's not moving. It's partway through the ice, which the pathway of the ice to the other side of the lake. It does not appear to be moving.
I raise some concerns. Best case scenario, it was just abandoned when the owners were running away. Worst case scenario, they were drawn into the ice. Or whatever this creature is.
Either way, it's nothing we can't handle, right?
I love your confidence. Let's do it.
Okay. Do you just go forward as a group? Is someone scoping it out? What is happening?
I'm gonna hang back because my primary weapon is a ranged weapon, and
Okay.
I don't need to be up close and personal to things.
Fair.
You're in all black, right?
Yes.
And like in the snow, like you stand out.
I'm not
Only,
trying
like,
to be.
everything can see you from
I'm not
behind.
trying to be sneaky. I am trying to use my weapon to the best of its ability. I am not using my bow as a club, Bubba.
Gotcha.
I will
Back row. I
snipe
get
from
it.
back here.
I
I'm
get it.
good.
Not a
Okay.
rogue.
Not
Not
a
a
rogue.
rogue.
Hashtag not a rogue.
Hashtag not a rogue, just edge.
Edge.
We
I'm
have
an
to.
edgy ranger, guys.
We have to go change your playbook name from a thief question mark to just edge. It just says edge. So, as you get an old phrase I haven't gotten to use in ages: marching order. What is the order of who's up front, who's middle, who's back?
Oh, Taj is going first. Yeah.
I am going last.
I'll be in the middle then.
Okay. You press on forward. Taj, you're taking the front. And as you get close, you see the caravan. There are bodies around it that you couldn't see from far distance.
What do the bodies look like? Are they frozen, just frozen, or are they looking?
Some of them look like there's an entire layer of frost over them, and others just look like they've been slashed across the face or have bite marks from on their shoulders and their legs.
This is a mess. These poor people.
Can you tell when did it happen?
Yeah, can I? I'm gonna see if I can like. How frozen are the bodies? Is the blood wet, dry, or frozen essentially? Like,
Yeah, I would say let's put this. This is OB3. This is Will, but you have advantage on it because of your experience with this.
okay.
This is specifically like a tracker and a hunting related thing, and I think you have enough experience with doing that to get advantage. So 5 to 10, looking for
Oh,
3 successes.
5 to 10. Okay, that's good.
5 to 10. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
When you have advantage, 5 to 10. When it's disadvantage, 7 to 10.
Yeah, I got a 6, 9, and a 5. So
That'll do it.
yeah.
You move close to a lot of these bodies, and you see it's like all the bodies are cold to the touch, and initially you would think, man, this has probably been here a bit, but you have experience dealing with a lot of creatures. This is recent. Like, this did not happen that long ago. And it's right about now you also notice a bit behind the caravan, you just hear like it sounds like you hear another wolf.
Everyone be on your guard. These bodies haven't been here too long. I'm gonna go look around the corner. I think I hear a wolf or something, an animal.
Another wolf? The wolf seems to be fighting against the creatures. They are trying to protect people.
I didn't know the wolves are on our side. Very interesting.
They might not be on our side. Perhaps they are just afraid of the creatures as well.
I dig it.
But any enemy of enemy, is that what that old saying says? I can't remember.
The enemy of my enemy is my enemy.
Something doesn't sound quite right about that.
Taj, do you move closer to the wolf?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. You can see, again, much like the other wolf that wandered into town, this one just seems to... This one looks just a little bit sadder, and frankly, the best way of putting it is a little bit more pathetic looking. Like, it looks scared and startled. It doesn't look hurt. It heard the sound of other creatures and would just seem to immediately become a little bit sadder.
Hey, little guy, were you looking for a snack or you here for another reason?
Like, dog slowly moves its head towards you.
You're gonna reach my hand out towards it and try and not too close, but reach out towards it. There, little one.
Can I scan while they're dealing with a hurt wolf or whatever and like dead bodies all around? Can I just keep an eye out for stuff beyond the cart, like any movement beyond the cart?
Okay. I'm gonna say I'll let you choose between Dex and Will. This is OB. Yeah, let's make this. This is OB4. So you need 4 successes to make this check.
Who's making it?
That's gonna be Tahirli.
Okay.
Bet. Sorry, I thought that was still Mark.
No. Because you said you're looking around.
Yeah. So, ooh. You said what stat? Sorry, I didn't hear the stat.
Dex or Will, it's your call.
Oh, I have 0 will, so let's go. Dex. Easy choice. Okay. And you said I needed 4?
Yes.
I gave you 5.
Okay. You're looking around and being careful, just watching, just doing the usual thing. But from this distance, you notice something that Taj doesn't notice immediately because Zir's focus is like on extending a hand to the dog, or to the wolf rather. You see the tail of the wolf begins to split down the middle and slowly beginning to be coated over with ice, as though the portions of its body are beginning to transform.
Okay. Instead of being a logical person who would voice their concerns, can I shoot the wolf in the face?
Yes.
Cool. Is that another dex check?
That would be using your weapon, which if I believe your bow is a medium weapon.
Yes,
Do I
she
have that right?
is.
Yeah, so that would be your dex plus 2d10. So roll that against, and then the OB will be against this creature's defense,
Okay.
which is
Like
heavy armor.
Oh,
Heavy
great.
armor.
Heavy armor.
Yeah, so
Excellent.
okay. So roll that and tell me how many successes you get.
Successes are above a 6, right?
6 or above. 6 or above.
Cool.
The baseline is 6 to 10. When you have advantage, it's 5 to 10. When you have disadvantage, it's 7 to 10.
Got it. Okay.
So
2,
6 to
4,
10.
6, 7.
You have 7 successes.
Yes, I do.
Okay. So what ends up happening? Very important here. You meet this creature's OB and exceed it by 4. You deal 4 points of damage against the wolf, and I'm gonna say that because you succeeded the previous check and you chose to attack it, I'm gonna let you have the bonus here now that you prevent it from making its attack on Taj.
Wicked.
Because
Okay.
it was not expecting to be hit with a bow from the side. Because what was about to happen, because I just rolled this, it would have been 5 successes to take a bite and Taj, which I think would have gone a little bit over. You make the shot, and it pierces the side, and the creature immediately leaps back. And you watch as like parts of its fur extend out as though it has these sort of like hard icicle like tentacles spreading out from its back.
Yeah, from this pose, you see Tahirli look like head up at Taj and it's like, "You're welcome.
Shit, Tahirli, we're gonna warn somebody?
You're welcome."
You look back, Taj, and you see like the creature like beginning to transform, and you hear the creature howl, and emerging from beneath the ice, it's almost as though like its forms are just kind of just pulling themselves out of it, 2 additional wolves. 2 of them are engaged with Taj. One of them is moving towards Frexa.
Can I? So I'm sort of. I imagine Felix noticed the commotion when all of that was happening
Yes.
and saw the tail end of that transformation potentially, and seeing the wolf, who was our friend, transform into this creature. Could she use her infinite wisdom to discern what was going on there?
I would say yes. This is Will
Yeah.
OB3.
So I spent 2 wisdom point earlier. So do I just like am I just reduced now from?
No, you will always roll. Your dice pool will always be determined by attribute score, not
Mhm.
points. Points are sort of always fluctuating with rests or with other abilities or with taking damage. Your scores never change, and you always have that as a pool to pull from
Amazing.
to
I have.
make.
I'm gonna roll all 7.
Yes, because you put everything into will because magic. The decision was I'm gonna blast. But yeah, roll that.
4 successes.
4 successes. Okay. You have the distinct awareness that this is not like the wolf that wandered into town. This is an ambush, and you all almost walked right into it. The wolf was fainting and was pretending to be hurt. You have the distinct sense that it was that these might be the things responsible for wiping out this caravan.
Yeah. Would definitely just say these are not the same kind of wolves that we saw.
Yep.
Defend ourselves.
You think?
So, here is what's going to happen. This is going to kick off initiative for everyone. So this is going to be everyone in the group makes a dex check, which the hard carry
I
here
love
might
this
be
game.
Tahirli. You chose Dex is very good in this system, but everything else is also good for different reasons. Strength is very good because it means you can take more hits, which in this system is very good. But everyone will make a dex check, note however many your successes are, and I will do the same for the creatures, which there are 3 of these. So that will be a total of 6.
I love that.
2 again.
2 successes, okay.
And 0 successes.
0 successes, 4 successes, 2 successes. Okay, so you have a total amount of successes of, I believe, 6. They have a total success of 1. So your group is
Hey.
going first.
I love it.
So your group will act. Your group will act first, and then the wolves will attempt to attack. So everyone in the group you can choose whenever you want to attack, like what order you choose to do so on any given round, so long as it's your turn in combat, your turn in the round. So allies, wolves. So this is the start of combat. So whoever would like to take the current layout is there are 3 distances. You have engaged, like punching range, close, which you think of it like you could throw a rock and probably hit something, and distant, which is like you need a ranged weapon like a bow to hit something. So I would say right now the wolf that has been hurt is distant to where Tahirli is. One wolf, 2 of the wolves, one of them being the hurt one, are engaged with Taj, and one is engaged with Firixa. That's the setup. So, who's doing what?
Are we going in order of our successes?
You can
Successes.
choose. It's just a matter of however you want to take the order. If someone has something they're like, I want to try and do this first, you can choose to do that. Remember, it's just rolling that initial initiative was just to determine whether your group is going first or their group is going first. How you choose to do your turns in the group turn is up to you to decide.
I want to do some crazy things. I want to do a crazy thing to gain us our allies, if that's all right. It might be a little bit unsettling, but
That's kind of par for the game if you're a
so
magic caster. So
Firixa is going to kind of stamp her This is purely for flavor because I'm not using the staff. Stamp the staff on the ice, open up the book, and it's going to like wave one hand up and speak to the bodies around the cars and say, "Rise up and help us." I'm going to raise.
You're wondering. Yes, you are technically wandering with a necromancer. We're not saying she's a
Yeah,
necromancer,
cool.
but
That was
she's
the
not.
first thing I was really worried about it.
She's not a necromancer either.
She's the
So-
warmest, fuzziest necromancer you've ever met.
Understand.
That's
Very, very demure necromancer.
And I am the goofiest edge lord. I see this through.
The done. Just
see this
trying
through.
to keep things going along, like move the plot along. The edgiest person, the chillest, most frightening person you've ever met. So you raise dice number of creatures from the dead. So how many will points are you spending to do this?
I will do 3. Why not?
Okay, so you spend 3 points, so that'll get you 4 dice.
Mm-hmm.
So roll those 4 dice and tell me how many successes you get out of those.
Okay. Oh, let me mute myself before I roll.
Yeah, no worries, no worries, no worries.
Um,
Because yeah, these are, depending how this goes, folks, you could have 4 allies for several turns. Raise is a very good spell if you can get it, if you're willing to spend for it. Oh dear, did we lose Casper? Oh no, wait, Casper's back. I was like, Casper had a pause for a second. I was scared.
so you see ink kind of dribbles out of the book. Oh.
Wait, hold on. Hold on for that,
Sorry.
Ran.
Yeah.
You're up.
You're back now.
You are back.
Yep. You're live.
That was weird.
Yeah.
We'll deal with it as it goes.
Yeah. Your dark
This-
magic.
The necromancer. It's your dark magic.
So with her right hand carrying the tome and then left hand sort of pulls out 4 strands of ink. One strand is dark gray, so 3 strand is dark gray, and one out of her little finger is like this warm white, gold ink. And then she's gonna pull these ink out of the tome and then connect, and then you see the 4 strands of ink sink into the 4 bodies on the ground and pull them right back up. I rolled 4
Okay.
successes.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah.
So that's okay. So so the number of bodies is equal to the number of dice you rolled. The number of rounds they will help you is your successes. So you rolled 4 successes. So for 4 rounds, you have 4 allies to help you. So I'll say they'll get their turn next round, but during next round, your Hixa will have 4 allies to take their turns for her, which that is terrifying as shit. But okay.
She's
So
gonna walk away a little bit from the wolf that's trying to pounce her.
Okay. So with that happening, the wolf, you attempt to move out of it. With moving away from it, it is going to take what is called an action of opportunity.
Oh,
It is
no.
going to try and take bite out of you. So the wolf is going to make, so this wolf, which hasn't been hurt at all, is going to roll this many dice against you to try and meet your armor. 5, 6.
I have made a bad
Okay.
life choice.
You made a choice. We'll see how good or bad it has gone.
With my armor of Obi-Wan.
This can only end well. Oh dear Lord. That is 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh my god.
That is 5 successes. So the damage is equal to whatever's gone over your health, or over your OB. But I need to double check something because if I roll a number of 10s equal or higher to equal to or higher than your OB, it's a critical hit. So I have rolled 2 10s, an 8, a 7, and an 8. So that is going to be from 4 to 8 points of damage.
Okay.
So -8 from first your strength pool and then your vitality.
Okay.
The moment you just try and move away from it, the wolf just tries to take a bite. I believe we have lost Casper. Oh dear. We'll figure out their turn shortly, but yeah, Ferixa, you try and move away from this thing, and it immediately it uses its tentacles, its like icicle tentacles to like pierce into the ground and leap to push off of it and take a bite out of your shoulder. So that hurt. That is
Yeah.
that was bad.
Can I take an action now?
Yes. So you
Can I
have
shoot?
there are 2 creatures that are distant from you, and there is one who is close to you, just to give you a sense of what the battlefield is right now.
Is the one close to me the one that's attacking
Ferixa, yes.
Sunshine over there? Yeah. Cool.
Yes, Sunshine has been hit by just took a very critical hit from that.
Okay. Can I still use my longbow at close range?
Let me double check that. I believe your range, it's a ranged medium. It's a ranged medium weapon, so it can hit distant. So you have to
Damn.
move away from this thing. You could try and finish off the wolf that's already been hit before, though, because that would make it easier for
Yeah.
Taj to pull away from it and try and like attack.
Okay, so if I kill that thing, then Taj, hopefully, reading the situation, will save the Walking Dead lady. Yeah, sure. I will shoot the wolf I already shot because that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Alrighty. So make with Dex plus 2d10. So roll that up, and then its armor is heavy armor. So with heavy armor, your OB is 3 that you need to reach.
Beat a 3. That's not good, but it's still 6. So yeah, I was staring at 2 ones. We're fine. Yeah,
So you have
I got
6 successes.
6 successes.
Okay. So 6 over the 3. There are 3 points of damage that goes over it. The wolf looks extremely hurt, but it is not quite down yet. It is barely hanging on.
Can I try and whistle? Is my I guess I'm thinking in D&D terms. If my free action would be like whistling to try and distract the one that's like chomping on.
So if you would like to use what's called a skilled action, you can use this in addition to your regular action.
Okay.
You can spend however many dex points you want, and you can either just say you want to try and do something, and if we decide it has a check, you will get an automatic amount of successes equal to however much you spent.
Okay.
So if you are trying to distract it, or if you're trying to do something to get its attention towards you,
Yeah.
I will say it'll be a check.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I will spend. I like my 6 dexterity. All right, fine. I will spend 3 because it would suck if Rand died this early.
You like how that's what you're going with?
What? So yeah, I'll spend 3 dex to distract the wolf. Like, hey, over here, ugly.
Okay, so I will say this will be OB equal to its armor to try and focus on it. So it's OB 3. So if you're going to do dex, we'll say you're trying to distract it with both calling out to it and firing another shot with your bow to try and get its attention. It won't do
Yeah.
damage, but if you succeed on this, it'll turn its attention to wanting to attack you.
All right. Well, I got 3 successes.
Oh. Okay. That only 3 successes?
Yes.
Well, this isn't against its. This isn't an attack. This is distracting. So
Yeah.
you met it. You met it exactly. So
Okay.
the wolf has now turned its attention to you.
That was smarter in my head.
So that is to Hierly's turn. So
Yes.
Taj, you have a very wounded wolf right next to you, and another one that has just appeared at your side that is very angry and looks very hungry.
Oh, it's not any more angrier than I am. I am Kajane the Huntress. I draw my longsword, and it's creatures like you that killed everyone I love. I start hacking into the one that's weakest.
The one that's weaker?
Yeah, the one that's already been dodged.
The one
I'm
that's,
sorry,
that's already been
damaged.
hit? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So you have a longsword. Is that a heavy weapon?
Heavy weapon, yes.
Heavy weapon. Okay. So with your heavy weapon, that is going to be strength plus 3d10. Roll that. Your OB against the wolf is 3. So you need to go above that number of successes in order to do damage to it.
Damn, I only got 2 successes.
No luck. You try and swing out to it, but you just, whatever it is about this wolf, its long sort of like back tentacles just propel it backwards to avoid the swing of your sword. So now it comes to the 3 wolves' turns because all of them are still technically up. So one of them is going to move up to try and attack Tahirli because they did get its attention and it's no longer focused on Furixa.
You're
And
welcome.
the other 2 are
Thank
going to
you.
try and attack Taj. So the first one
My
trying to
dying
go after
words.
Tahirli. Dying words will be you're welcome. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is going to be 1, 2, 4. That is 5 successes to land against you, Tahirli, with 2 of them being 10s. What is your armor? What is your OB?
I have a medium armor, which
Medium armor. Okay.
Yeah.
So medium armor would mean OB2.
Sexy.
So they did get on the critical hit. It has to be equal to or higher than your number. They rolled that. So but because your armor is higher than Furhixa's, so only 3 goes through, but because it's a critical, it will be 6 points of damage to you, to your strength points, and then once those deplete, it goes down into your vitality.
Okay, cool. Because I only have 3 strength points.
So those 3 will go away to 0.
Yeah.
So you have no more in your pool, and then the 3 that are left over will hit your vitality.
Okay, cool. I've got plenty of vitality.
So
I just have to math. Give me a second.
no worries. I'll let you have that time. So now it's going to come. The injured wolf is going to seek retribution against Taj. Or I should say it's going to try. Taj has better armor than both of you, I think. 1, 3. That is 3 successes. What is your armor, Taj? Taj, what is your armor? You're muted.
I think it's 1. Yep. Wait. Yeah, light armor is 1, right?
Light armor, yeah. Light armor would be 1. So it only had the 3 successes. So only 2 damage to you. So the one that's injured, it's hurt and it's not able to actually get a full attack off on you. So that one will deal 2 damage to you. So that's 2 from your strength points, not your score, as a reminder to folks.
Yeah.
the points that you're losing from first, not the score. The score always stays consistent unless some effect happens. The second wolf only is able to land 2 successes, but one of them is a 10, so that will be a crit. So 1 times 2, so it does another 2 damage. On a crit of 2, you have suffered the least of the party,
Well,
and your mage has suffered the most of this
I
entire.
I have a question.
Yes.
If I've rolled 10s on any of like my damage or whatever, is that double damage inflicted?
So, double damage inflicted is coming from crits. Crits happen whenever you roll a number of 10s equal to or higher than the OB that you're trying to reach.
Excellent. Okay, cool. Never mind
So,
then.
so these creatures, with them having, they have heavy armor, so they have 3. If you were to get 3 10s rolled,
Okay.
that would count as a critical hit. You would have to at least get 4 successes, but if 3 of them were 10s, then the 1 damage you would do would double.
Good to know.
It's one of those nice things where when it does happen, it feels real good because someone who rolls like a lot of dice can do a lot of damage if they get a lot of successes.
Yeah.
But so it now comes around to the party's turn again. So there is one wolf that's engaged technically with both Irixa and Tahirli, and 2 wolves that are engaged distant to you two, but engaged with Taj. So, what are you doing?
and there's 4 zombos.
Yeah, there's 4
Yes,
zombies.
there's 4
rolling
zombies
around.
who who basically I would say 2 of them have crossbows, 2 of them have long swords, is what I'll put it down to. So you can have them do whatever you would like. Just tell me
Great.
what command would you like to give to them?
So I think Furixa is very winded now. First, she's gonna. It does disengage exist in this system?
Technically, no.
Okay. Uh, she's gonna command one of the guys to position themselves between her and the closest wolf and
Closest wolf.
shoot a crossbow to it.
Okay.
And the other 3 are going to because Tahirli is also closer to that one, right?
Yeah, you are both basically there is one wolf that is right up on the 2 of you right now.
Okay, great. So I'm going to command 2 of them to go shoot 2 crossbows onto that one and position them
Okay.
between us and the wolf. And
The wolf.
then the two with the longsword, they're gonna go help Taj. Yeah.
Okay. So the two who are firing, they will be distant because they with trying to use their crossbows, they will have to be distant to the creature, so they would
Mhm.
not be able. The 2 of them that you're having
Oh, I
try and
see.
hit your wolves, in order to use their weapons effectively, they would have to be distant
I
in order to
understand.
do that.
Can I just reverse the
So have
thing?
the 2 swordsmen come
Yeah.
up with you. Okay.
And then the
And then
2
the
with the
other 2 are
crossbow.
gonna try and fire at the wolves. Okay.
Yes.
So the
I'm
2
such a good strategist, as you can tell.
you just raised the dead for 4 rounds. That's still pretty damn good. But
So
I will
that's what's
say,
happening.
yeah, I will say that each I'll say they have 3 strengths each. They're pretty well built with using the swords, so that will be 2 of them trying to attack the wolf that's on you. That was a really good roll. That wolf gets hit at least once by one of the undead swordsmen. So that one, and because they're 2 over, that's 2 damage on that wolf. And then the other swordsman is going to try and do the same thing. 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 4. That's 4 again. So that is another 1 over. So your swordsmen have done a total of 3 damage to this wolf between the two of them, and now the 2 crossbow people are going to try and do their thing. Same deal. One of them does not land a hit on the bow on one of the wolves that's facing Taj, and the other one is going to try and take a shot on the weakened one. 1, 2, 3. Unfortunately, that just meets the OB, so it doesn't manage to do any damage. But so the two heavy crossbow people are not able to do any damage with their bows against the wolves, but the 2 swordsmen are able to deal damage to the wolf, and you still have your turn. The command is not like an official thing of your
Great.
turn. They take their turns on your turn.
I'm going to shoot the one that's weakened by Taj with a missile.
Magic missile, not a literal missile. We do need to clarify.
No, I just picture her character just pulling up, like, all right, since I raised the dead, where'd my missile launcher go?
Yeah, magic missile using 1 will, right? So
Okay, so that will be 2. So roll 2 dice.
Okay.
And then however many successes will be deal that many damage, just automatically. You got 2 successes?
so it's a 10 and a 6.
That'll do it. The wolf that was weakened, describe what it looks like as the wolf falls.
So you just see a blotch of ink actually shoots out of her fingertip, and then as it lands on the wolf, it expands into a shocking blast of white and golden light. And it kind of dissolves the wolf from inside out a little bit.
Chat would like to, when a member of chat would like to bequeath you the title, Necromancer Propelled Grenade is your missile. Bless you, Abhishek.
That's amazing.
That takes care of one of the wolves just automatically, just hits. And that wolf, I would say for Ixa, you hear very faintly a voice just echo in your head, just saying, "Thank you."
Now go your way home. Yeah, that's my goal.
That's a turn. That is a turn.
Not to be outdone by Necromancer Barbie here. And I mean that with the most respect. Tahiri is going to aim for the second wolf that's been like diving and dodging out of everybody else's attacks next to Taj. And try and shoot the crap out of that.
Are you aiming for the one that's facing Taj, or that's still up with Firixa, technically?
Yeah, no, whichever one's furthest away, because
That
I
would be the
only
one
work
that's
at a
facing Taj, yeah.
yeah,
Because you work
I
at a
only work at a
distance.
distance.
Yes.
I don't get close to people. Yeah,
Thank
we're
you
gonna
for
shoot that.
chiming in chat, Ran. See you. Somebody
Yo,
needs to do that artwork. Necromancer Barbie, get on
let's
it, fan artist.
go. I
Let's
want a
go.
Necromancer Barbie.
So,
Yeah,
so take your shot against the wolf that's far off.
Let's-
Roll them dice, and let's see where you land.
it's still my dex, like my whole dexterity pull +2, right?
Yes, because
Awesome.
it's always your rolls are based off of attribute score, not points. Your points are
Excellent.
the thing that are moving. The
Cool.
scores will always stay the same unless something very big happens with an ability. Because there
Awesome.
could be a creature that does affect it, but that's a rarity. That's
Okay,
the
cool.
exception to the rule.
Awesome possum, because I got 4 10s and a 6. The rest of them are 5s.
Okay, 4 10s and a 6. So that is 5 successes total, but at least 3 of those were that.
Yeah,
So that
this
would
is
be
why I love internet dice right now.
yeah. So that would be normally 2 points of damage, but but because you met it, you met the OB with number of crits, it's doubled, so it's 4 points of damage against the wolf.
Cool. I'm gonna just flavor that as like lighting a torch, like lighting the end of my arrow as I shoot it, and it's just to show up the crossbow zombies because they're dead. Like yeah,
Like
it's a pride
they're
thing.
dead. They should be doing better. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. So, Taj, it is your go.
I just saw one of the wolf creatures blow up in this
Melt.
golden blast. And it's like,
Yes.
exactly what you deserve, you little piece of shit. And I'm like, go over and like stomp on where it was. And then I'm gonna rush forward and slash the other one with my sword again.
It's like, you little shit. Roll them dice. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Where my dice roller at? Hopefully better than last time. 4 successes. No, 3 successes.
3 successes against
Yep.
the wolf?
Yep.
Okay. So that does not beat the opponent's OB. It meets it exactly. Like you aren't able to do any damage. The wolf catches the blade in its mouth, and now it's going to like throw it away from you, and it is going to make a parry attack. So it is going to try and bite back. If it fails, it will fall prone, which does have a condition in this system. But we're gonna see if this works out.
I only have 1 armor, so
Yeah, we'll see. I could roll like shit. Does not rolling like shit. That is 5 successes total. So that is 4 over, so it does 4 damage in retribution to you. So as these creatures, as it comes to the top of what is going to be the 3rd round, these creatures at first do not sound like they're going to stop. But far off from the distance, you hear some sort of strange noise. Something that the best approximation I give you is but it also sounds like whenever it's happening, if you've ever heard someone trying to talk and while their like throat is being like hit, like being tapped, so it has that weird like sort of vibration kind of effect to it. It has that constantly, and it's like reverse echoing effect as it makes these noises. The wolves, both of them, immediately look towards, almost like with a sense of like intelligence, look towards one another. They make a beep noise like a car going off in the distance, and then they both sink into the ice as though they do not want to engage anymore. And you are left there with some animated bodies, some of the remains of the rest of the caravan nearby, and the sound of something else approaching. And that is where we are going to leave this session off for this week.
Rude.
Because it's the last 10 minutes, folks, and I want to give us time to do our outros and plug one another's stuff. So thank you everybody for being with us here for our premiere. The first half was just a nice little cozy, lesbians get their stuff interrupted. We have cranberry raisin bread, and we have some tea, and we share some stuff. And the second one is horrible eldritch ice creatures with the mage taking the biggest hit in the first go, your main frontliner getting hit a lot, and the shadows never suffering for any of their actions. No consequences were had by the shadows. When you have no gender, you face no consequences.
Yes, when you have no gender, you face no consequence.
but that has been our stream, folks. I want to thank you very much to everyone who's tuned out, and I'm going to let everyone again do very quick. Just say where we can find you, plug one thing or a project that you're either excited for or are going to be involved with soon, and after that, we will be heading out because it has been a fantastic time and a fantastic premiere. As I welcome you all to the world of Zorana, with starting off in the settlement of Belinay. God damn it, chat! A gender glitch run. It's not a tool assisted speed run where you get a gender as a way to cheat. I'm
Let's
not giving that to
go.
any of you.
Damn it.
So I'm going to start off with Mark. Feel free to tell us who you are and plug anything you're going to be involved with.
Yo, it's your 41-year-old boy Mark J. You can check me out on Apocalyptic Unlimited. We're doing a really cool Black History Month program. All month we're raising funds for Black Girls Rock with our games and streams. So definitely check that out. You can find me at I forget my Blue Sky name, but check me out on Blue Sky. It's somewhere in the chat, I think.
Fantastic. And passing it over now to our agent of chaos, themselves, and our friendly neighborhood ghost, MB Ghost, Casper.
Theo, I'm Casper the MB Ghost. I am a writer and just chaos gremlin. I identify as a menace, so my pronouns are they, he. Yeah, I just wrote a hack for a game I played a couple days ago called Hometown Holiday, and my hack is called Cabin in the Woods. It's basically you get to play it's you and your friends in a TV horror film. I just released it on my itch. And yeah, that's what I'm really excited about right now. So go check out my itch page. It's Casper DANB Ghost. Same with me on every other social media.
As always, people, whenever you can, support BIPOC creatives because we do good shit. We know we do good shit. We need you to recognize that we do good shit. We already know this. We are simply waiting for you. And
I'm
so
not looking for recognition. Fuck y'all. I'm gonna do what I do.
I love you, Mark. I already love you, Mark. Thank you so much for that. It was needed. Continuing the thread of fantastic, amazing folks who are in our cast. Rand, take it away.
Hi, I'm Ran. You can find me on Instagram. I will get a Blue Sky soon, but my handle is Rhino Riddler on most things. I'm an undisciplined theater maker in New York City, here with a very low tech plug. I am involved in the artistic creative circle of Physical Theater Festival, second year in a run in New York City. In January, if you're around, you can find information on fizzfestnyc.org. Clowning, miming, physical theater, puppetry, the like. Yeah.
Fantastic. And as I've said before, my name is Angela Lemos Mogrovejo. I use she, they pronouns, and I am your story weaver for this place. I'll figure out a GM name at some point. You can find me on most social media at Phoenix 25 Femme, Phoenix 23 Femme. It's Phoenix Femme. If you look for Phoenix Femme, you'll usually find me somewhere. No one ever takes Phoenix Femme because it's mine. I chose it. None of you can take it from me. And also, if you'd like to catch me as a player doing what I do best, which is playing very sapphic characters who shouldn't be lovable, but I make them very much so. Bat Death God, reincarnation of Kamazots, the Mayan Bat Death God, over on Sword and Key on Mondays. It's not going to be happening this week, but I believe in about 2 weeks we'll be back on Mondays, 6 p.m. EST. You can catch me over there doing very, very gay things with a bunch of other very queer, very neurodivergent folks. So, as always, folks, thank you so much for your support and continued viewership. It's been an absolute pleasure to have chat blessing us with some gems. including a necromancer repelled grenade for today and a gender glitch run. We're gonna keep those
Yes.
going for the future. If we're lucky enough, we'll make our own bingo card at some point of things that each of us do, and we'll either love or learn to regret that. But as always, thank you so much. Take care of one another. It is the depths of winter, and though our spirits may be kind of cold and our bodies chilled, fear not the night, fear not the coming of the cold. There is always warmth to be had with the people in our communities who care about us and those we make both online space and in our in person. So with that, we are going to send all of our love over to Mozzarella, who's playing Lethal Company. I've never played Lethal Company. I've just seen the shenanigans, so cannot wait. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you next week at this same time. Bye.